This program is made possible by the state's Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.
Spontaneity, I feel like, oftentimes creates kind of the most interesting results. Sometimes it's just a lot of experimentation, and I like to try and keep things spontaneous in a controlled way, and then when I see bits that are working, kind of harness those elements and continue to work through other parts until I'm satisfied with the piece. I think with my work, there's kind of just an overall theme of kind of taking all these elements from popular culture and bringing them together in unexpected ways, and then giving the viewer an opportunity to kind of build a story out of what's there. I'm not necessarily trying to dictate a specific idea with most of what I do. It's just kind of continuing through this general theme of constant bombardment of advertising and things we're all subject to on a daily basis, and kind of mixing that all up, presenting it in a new way, and then kind of letting the viewer interpret. I'd like to show kind of that history throughout a piece. Oftentimes, the first marks I put down, you never exactly see it at the end, but it's still there because those first elements are what are informing the next thing. Just kind of a mix of a variety of stuff. Spray paint in different ways, whether it's spraying directly out of the nozzle or pressing down the plunger to get a more erratic spray, to house paint, acrylic paint, some light washes with water just to kind of create some depth throughout the process and weather certain areas, paint markers. I just like mixing all these mediums and then actually trying to kind of go as fast as I can and layer them while they're wet. You start to get some interesting textures. When a piece is finished, you get that depth that you see on an old advertisement. 15 advertisements have been layered on, and bits and pieces have come away over time. It's kind of another variation of that sort of natural process. This is an outdoor installation mural that we'll be installing on a wall in northeast Minneapolis. It's gonna be a little heavier than I thought. My brother Jake is my assistant for the day, and we're just going to stack up these wood panels and bring them over to the location, and then install the piece one panel at a time, screwing it to the existing wall. The process was created in the studio, hand-painted layers, kind of mimicking the screen print process. It was just a wall that I've had my eye on for a while that seemed like it could use a little color down there. So I just mocked up the idea and then brought the idea to the owner of the building and asked if it would be all right to install, and you know, lucky enough, he was cool with it. Mural work was a natural progression with what I was doing in my studio or in gallery settings. I like to work on a large scale, so over the years I've had some opportunities to be able to work on even a larger scale and install my work outdoors. I had the opportunity to do a mural at Art Basel. It's a unique event that happens every year in Miami, and galleries from all over the world come there to show their work. So after that initial mural, they invited me back a few years later to install a new piece. So this past year, I had the opportunity to go and add another large-scale piece to the buildings. It's one of the most rewarding things to be able to put in the prep work and install it and make it happen and then see the final piece. I mean, it was great. I like how it's kind of looking at that boarded up vacant thing.
Yeah.
She is. Yeah, it's perfect in that spot, and it's so bright.
Dude, that's pretty sweet that we can just cruise by now and just see that thing all the time.
The images in my work, I try not to overthink. I collect a lot of materials and old comic books and magazines and tabloids. I just try to kind of spontaneously pull bits, whether it's bits of romance comics or celebrity tabloids or old advertising. I kind of try to bring them together as something new. I've always been interested in urban decaying signs and advertisements, whether it's actually using those elements or photographing them and literally pulling textures from those photographs, or just simply using them color palette ideas and in a more abstract sense. I'm creating my film to burn my silk screens, giving a little more texture, and I can kind of pick and choose certain elements to make pop more. One thing I've been experimenting more with is trying to spend more time hand drawing my film and separations for all my screen printing. I guess it feels like there's more of me in the piece. With my background in design, I was always interested in that typography and simple images. And screen printing was kind of a vehicle to be able to take that and push it on a larger scale. So I like to work fast and make those quick, spontaneous decisions. And screen printing is a great vehicle for that, to be able to quickly reproduce things, take away elements. I don't know, there's just something about that process. For the most part, always been a staple in my work. It's something that's just been a good way to layer and build up each piece. I like my aesthetic to be raw, but controlled. At times, I'd like parts to be chaotic, but there's always like a structure. The main goal is to be able to come to my studio each day and get my work out there, and galleries and the fine artwork is, you know, being able to show in that setting is what interests me most. And yeah, I've been lucky enough to be able to do that, and it's just, you know, that's what constantly drives me to continue and keep pushing forward.
I'm Laura Zabel. I'm the Executive Director of Springboard for the Arts, which is an economic and community development organization run entirely by artists. So I guess that means I'm an artist also.
And there he was, in a powder blue tuxedo with a white ruffled shirt and a powder blue bow tie.
My background is as a theater maker, actor. You know, it's one of those things that makes sense in retrospect. I look back as early as like high school and college, and I always was interested in sort of organizing within the arts community and how art can be sort of deployed or engaged in the other issues of the community. So, you know, it makes sense now, but I never could have articulated then that this is where I would end up.
I like that idea.
Springboard's an organization that is about helping artists make a living and a life and helping communities tap into the power and the resource that artists can provide. We really started defining the work as economic and community development. A lot of people would refer to Springboard as an artist service organization. That's not really a term that I'm down with. I feel like artists aren't victims in need of service. They are a powerful creative force, and it's just a matter of sort of knitting our creative community back into the fabric of the whole community. So we've been doing this big project called Irrigate in the Central Corridor during the construction of the light rail that has been about supporting artists to do creative projects with business owners, with neighborhood organizations, projects that attract people and attention and dollars to those places during this huge disruption, and that also help change the narrative about what's possible. And then in 2010, we started this program called Community Supported Art in partnership with MN Artists. It's based on the community supported agriculture model. So instead of getting vegetables from a farm, you get art from local artists. The point of the program really is to make direct connections between the public and the artists who live and work in their community.
Today we are at Silverwood Park in St. Anthony, Minnesota, and this is an opportunity for shareholders to come up and pick up the work that they purchased, but it's also an opportunity for them to mingle with the artists and really have a live and interactive community around this cool project.
Being a part of the CSA project this year it's really great because sometimes you produce a lot of work and you don't know who's going to see it, or if anyone's going to see it, or if anyone's going to like it or own it. And working on every single little drawing, like I knew it was going to someone. And so to actually be able to meet shareholders and have that connection is something that we don't always experience.
This is just so much fun, I can't tell you.
Great, we're glad you're here with us.
Over the last 10 years, the organization has grown, the budget has grown. I lost track at 10 times over. It's more than that now, which, you know, I don't really measure the success or failure of the organization based on budget size, but it's a handy shorthand for how much we've grown. I think one of the early inflection points was when we developed the Artist Access to Healthcare program. We did this big statewide study that showed that artists are twice as likely to lack health insurance as the general population in Minnesota. That's true all across the country too. And we went around to a lot of people and said, we are going to do something about this. And people kind of universally said, oh, that is really important. You're never gonna be able to do anything about that. I mean, it's just a huge, crazy, complicated system. And we did. We started this program called Artist Access to Healthcare. It really focused on health care versus health insurance. And we've helped over 5,000 artists go to the doctor through that program. It's work I'm really proud of and feels really important to the community. I always say, you know, I speak healthcare now, which is, for someone with a theater degree, an unusual turn of events.
Stacy, we're just gonna go in the costume room a little bit.
It's open. I'll have to turn the lights up.
All right.
Theater in the Round is one of the oldest theaters in the Twin Cities, and it's just one of my favorite places in the whole community. It's a place that's meant a lot to me as an artist and to hundreds and thousands of other actors and performers and stage managers and directors in the Twin Cities. It just sort of provides this wonderful piece of infrastructure for the community here.
There's like a whole silver shoe section, just in case.
And gosh, like this place, I've just played you know, those roles that are like the roles you want to play, these sort of iconic, amazing roles. I was Emily in Our Town and the lady in the Scottish play, and just really amazing roles that you don't get the opportunity to do very often. And it makes me feel like this place is just so important to who I am as an actor and to my sort of growing up and evolving and learning a lot about myself.
My mother went to Montreal,
New York City,
and she brought me back.
Love, Loss, and What I Wore is the first show that I've done in a really long time, the first fully staged play.
The minute you see Laura, you love her. She's so good with so many different kinds of people and brings her own style to being this really powerful leader. I know she's dealing with all these different artists and their needs, and she's giving speeches, and she's out there fighting for our right to do this show. I mean, at the heart of it, she's a huge leader in this community and so respected and seems to be just growing every year. So I feel pretty excited to have her in my show, not only because she's a great performer, but because of what she represents in terms of an artist.
I went to school for theater. I went to the University of Kansas and have a degree in theater. And then I moved to the Twin Cities right after that because of the art community here, because of the theater community, because I wanted to be a place where that was a priority for the community and a place where I could see myself being involved in that part of the community for a really long time. And that worked out pretty well. Even though I might not perform in sort of traditional theatrical ways as much as I used to, I feel like those skills are still a huge part of my life, and they're a huge asset in the work that I do every day at Springboard for the Arts in terms of public speaking and in terms of creating collaborative projects. The things I learned from theater about how to come together with a group of people and make something happen quickly and in a creative way, that's what we do every day at Springboard.
I think I like music better than anything. Ice cream, don't match. Cornbread, I like cornbread, but the cornbread I like is me. Cornbread in the morning. I am James Samuel Cornbread Harris Sr. Cornbread every night. I have been making music for 65 years, and I'm still going. I'm primarily a bluesman. I love about the blues is the feeling of the music. I feel like I could cry. I feel like I could cry. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. By 3 years old, my parents died. I was sent to foster homes from 3 until, 11 or 12 maybe. So my grandparents decided to take me in. That was in St. Paul. So when I went to St. Bernard's, my grandparents decided that I should have piano lessons. Before that, I had been learning from my friends. My friends taught me a lot of stuff. Dig this, dig this. Oh, yeah. You know, I was a fantastic piano player. So when I went to the service, I would play in the day room. They'd get their chairs and sit around the piano and listen to me play my little 3, 4 songs. One more time, one more time. And when I got out of the service, I said, well, you know what? People like the music, So I went to Smith's Music Company and bought a guitar book. So I learned to play many, many songs. As long as I got the words, the melody, and the chord progression, I can play pretty near any song. Not the way it's written, you know, but really close to the song.
Mr. Harris is a wise and gentle soul. Many of the musicians in town would refer to Cornbread's outfit as Cornbread's School of Finishing Musicians.
I taught many people little pieces of the genre of music. I played with so many different groups. Tommy Francis was one of the bands, Jaja Latif, and there were several other little, I don't even know if you could call them bands. We got together 3 times. That disbanded.
He was in the very first rock and roll band in the Twin Cities, Augie Garcia.
Augie Garcia, you know, he wears Bermuda shorts and he dances on top of the piano and he walks the railing playing the guitar. 3 years we packed River Road Club, Monona, Minnesota. Augie kept his showmanship up playing our same 20 songs. Right on the spot we were just ad-libbing this thing. Hi Ho Silver. That got to be the first hit record in the Twin Cities, and it just became a big hit. Fried chicken and cornbread, pig feet and cornbread, dandelion and cornbread, pork chops and cornbread, monkey hips and cornbread, baby cornbread.
Mr. Harris's commitment to jazz and blues music is a lifestyle, and he likes to spread his knowledge, and in that way it kind of keeps growing as a genre.
Hello, pretty lady.
Hello.
How are you this morning?
Doing good.
We are going to Camden. We go there 2 times a week, and I'm gonna play, and they're gonna applaud for me, and say, "Oh, that was sure good cornbread," or whatever. Camden Neighborhood Center. All right.
Camden Neighborhood Center focuses on adults and adults with different degrees of disabilities and their families. So every Tuesday and Thursday, Mr. Cornbread is here with our senior group. It's very lively. Like when they get in, he always sits up front and they always reserve the front seat for him. And he's one of our only males, so he gets the royal treatment while he's here, and the ladies really love him.
I like playing here for these ladies because I got them fooled. They think I'm good. You know, that is a wonderful thing that people like you.
We got him fooled.
You got me fooled? Uh-oh. Oh, now the truth is coming out. Uh-huh.
I-22. Mr. Cornbread Harris, he's been with us about 10 plus years. And I actually did not realize who Mr. Cornbread was for several years, and I knew who his son was.
My son, Jimmy, I want to throw his name out here. Jimmy Jam, yeah. They were using a lot of what I taught him to make their tunes. And so they kept on doing that until they got the time together. And Prince heard them and decided, oh man, these guys can really play.
I-24.
Oh, I-24. I-24.
I think Mr. Cornbread continues to come and play music because he enjoys the people, he enjoys the senior groups, and he likes the interaction.
Okay, N35. N35. 35, in 35, in 35. Okay.
Welcome to the 22nd annual celebration of the Sally Ordway Urban Awards. The Sally Awards are a statewide salute and celebration of the arts in our state.
The 2013 Sally Award for Commitment is presented to a remarkable musician who has brought us his interpretations of the blues and jazz for more than half a century, James Samuel Cornbread Harris, Sr.
He was nominated by a number of people, and I think the reason that commitment seemed logical is because at age 80-something, he has had a very long career committed to music.
No matter what I do, I end up getting more than I gave. If you want to be blessed, be a giver. Thank you very much.
His career is so long, and he's such a wonderful musician, and he has taught so many people. And I know nobody was anything but delighted when he was selected.
The blessing came when I was enlightened that people liked music, and I had this small talent. And I wish that on everybody, to be as blessed as me. I got it made.
This program is made possible by the state's Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.